Welcome to the MFR Coaches podcast, where we talk about how you can create a six-figure MFR practice. I'm your host, Heather Hommel. Not only have I been practicing MFR for 11 years, I'm also a life and business coach, especially for MFR therapists. My goal is for you to understand how to get fully booked, how to talk to your clients, and how to make sure they understand what's possible for them with MFR treatment. I'm here to help you stop under-earning, overworking, and burning out. I'll lend support so you can create the MFR practice you've always wanted. Learn how you can do it too, even if you live in a tiny town, and even if you're just starting out, and even if you've ran your practice for years. Let's go. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another Minisode episode of the MFR Coaches podcast. Like that kind of episode where you get to see us in the wild doing our recording. So welcome in, everybody. Today I'm joined by Sara Martin of Fire Rainbow Myofascial Release, and she is located in San Antonio, Texas. Am I saying all the things right, Sara?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, welcome back. Sara is an OG. She's one of my first coaching clients. So we go way back in the day, and just wanted to catch up with you and see how things are going. So do you kind of want to share your journey of where you were, how you came to coaching, and then I'll just ask you more questions.
Yes, sure. That sounds great. So it was back in 2021.
Back in the day, so long ago.
In May, actually. And I had read, I think it was actually earlier that year, I'd read your book. Mm-hmm. I'd ordered it. I'd read your book. And I was like, oh yeah, I can do all this. And then of course I immediately put it down. I'm like, nah, it's okay. I got it.
Everything's fine. I don't need to change
Everything's fine. And I decided to make a what is possible call with you. Mm-hmm. And I just, it makes me giggle now looking back at this. We had finished the call with a date to get together again, like the next day or something.
Like a follow-up.
Mm-hmm. A follow-up, thank you. Yes, a follow-up call. And I had said, well, I just need to think about it. And in the back of my brain, because I had read somewhere that you should take 24 hours to think about it. And if it's a big purchase and all this. And so I thought about it, and I knew immediately after I got off the call with you that I was going to sign up. But I was like, no, I have to think about it. It's really, it's a big purchase. And so I thought about it, and I was like, of course I said yes. But flash cut to present me, who's like, oh yeah, this program sounds great. How much is it? Oh, perfect. I can do that.
Here's my credit card.
Yeah. Right. It's a completely different response where I was so hesitant and not sure. And now I'm like, oh yeah, it's coaching. What are and it's more like, what are the results that I'm looking for to get out of the program versus I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm not in control of anything. Yeah. Well, you're kind of like a totally different person from the very first time I met you, right? Like you were kind of afraid of everything. I mean, but you were and you weren't, because you had previously been working for someone and working a lot. Like that was a pretty stable job, but you wanted to go out on your own, and you did. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge thing. I think people don't give themselves enough credit for making those choices and those changes, because they're huge. And then after that, you were like, okay, now I'm out on my own, but I have no idea how to create clients. I have no idea how to set my rate. I have no idea how to have policies,
yes,
all of those 100%. Things.
Yeah.
And now, now you are becoming a life coach. Like you're getting ready to certify as a life coach. You are fully booked. You are making lots of money. What is the difference? So we're 2 years later from when we first met. Like, what would you say is the difference between who you were then and how you are now?
So when I first started, everything was really personal. I know that you and I did a lot of coaching on things that were personally going on with me or things that I was having thoughts about. And now it's such a difference between the separation of my personal and professional.
Mm.
They aren't so they're not so tied together.
Mhm.
So one's not trying to, like, one side isn't boosting the other side up and the other side isn't boosting the other side. So there's a nice separation. Now, do they cross over sometimes? Yes.
Of course.
But but
But you're not reacting to everything anymore. Like you just respond to things now, like the things that we can't control. You're just more in a response mode instead of a reactive mode.
right.
Yeah. Or
Yes.
afraid that something's going to go wrong. So like being very careful.
Yeah, I was so concerned like the other shoe was going to drop or the reactions that I was going to get from people or how people were going to respond to my choices.
Mhm.
So,
And now what do you think about decisions you make in your business?
oh, they're easy breezy. Like I have moved into a new office and everything in that office is 100% different than it was in my old office.
Mhm.
And
Is that in a good
I
way or a bad way?
it's in a good way because I in my first office I kind of like jumped into the space and I was sharing it with another person originally, and so it was kind of this collage of things and
Mhm.
energies and everything, and then I moved into a separate room and it was still just this collage of stuff.
Mhm.
And I've it's become more purposeful in my new space, so I really have a everything is purposeful. And then my space is so small, I either need it or I don't. It's
Oh, yeah.
really like cut and dry that way.
And it's your space. Like you're not sharing it. This is your space. You're in control.
Yes. Hmm.
How does that feel?
It took a minute because I still have in the back of my brain, like, is this okay what I'm doing? And it's only for a moment. It's not like a consistent reel that runs, but I'm like, yeah, this is my space. This is my business. I answer to myself.
Mhm.
So which
Yeah.
is different thinking.
Yeah. Well, you've done a lot of things that are like your decision lately. I remember, okay, so a year ago, I was in Austin, Texas. It was about a year ago. Maybe it was like in April instead of May, whatever. The FBI is listening. And and you came and met me for dinner and we got to hang
Mhm.
out. And you were like, I'm thinking about going to the life coach school. And I was like, I don't know, Sarah. Like, I think you should do that, but you should get fully booked first and then go to the life coach school, right? And you were like, surprise, I already joined. And I'm like, that's how I actually was super proud of you for doing that because you used your own autonomy, like your own decision process, knowing what you wanted, not just doing what I said just because I gave you advice, right?
Right.
And now here we are a year later, you're about ready to certify and you're fully booked, right? Like you're booked and I mean, you're doing it. Your business is
Yeah.
thriving.
Yeah. It's consistent and I have clients who are moving out from the coming every week to coming out every other week, which
Mhm,
is brand new for me. I
Well,
have
which
like,
is awesome. Like you're getting
mhm,
your patients to maintenance levels
mhm,
and more clients are coming.
yes. So those spaces are filling, yeah, are being refilled. They're being replenished.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
and one of my favorite, well, it's a favorite thing. When we first started working together, I I had been using Square
Mhm.
and you had recommended massage books. And so I was comfortable enough with people like scheduling themselves.
Mhm.
But even today, whenever I get that notification, I'm like, oh, it's like, oh, I get to meet a new person.
Mhm.
Where in the past, I'm like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not sure. Like, I'm very uncomfortable. And
Mhm.
it's like, I just got a notification. I'm like, I don't know this person. Where did they come from? I'm excited to find out. Like, what's going
Yeah.
on?
What do you think has changed like in you that now is excited for those new clients versus like when you used to get those notifications, you'd feel like a little bit worried? Hey, podcast listener, I want to make sure that you know and understand that you can become a founding member of my brand new 12-month coaching program right now. Get in before we even start our live coaching, or get in the week we start live coaching, August 1st. There's zero benefit to waiting for your business to be in the perfect situation in order for you to join. There's so much power for being in community and learning from others that are going through the same things that you're going through or one step ahead of you. Be in this group and get to work on your business right now. Create the foundations to have a six-figure myofascial release business. Do it now, do it today. I'm so excited to be your coach. Go to www.themfrcoach.com/coaching today and join right now. I'll see you over there. And again, live coaching begins August 1st. You get instant access to the course right after you sign up. Now back to the show.
Honestly, it's actually a shift. It's a shift that has been in process for the last more than 6 months, but oh gosh, it's more of a sensation than really anything. I think maybe it's more of a letting go of the need to know all the answers about what's going on. That things are okay as they are. And that I don't, there are things that are in my control and things that are out of my control.
Yeah.
And I get to just swim in the pool of what I get to swim in my own pool. I don't have to get into anybody else's pool.
Yeah, I love that. And when these clients come in, if you previously had the thought, I don't know if this is what was going on for you, but like if you previously thought, I need to know about them, I need to know where they came from so I can make sure that I know how to help them like ahead of time, versus now it's like maybe your confidence has changed and you can treat anything that walks into the room, or you know how to refer out. So it's literally like not a problem, whoever it is and whatever is going on with them.
Yeah, that's, you say it so eloquently. I appreciate that. Because I'm like, it's a sensation.
Well, it's like confidence, right? Is a sensation.
It is. And
and I think maybe for you, I mean, nowadays, I think that's more of a familiar sensation, whereas before, maybe it wasn't so much. Like anxiety and worry and overwhelm and chaos were probably a little more familiar.
Yes. And I really hung out there in that space. I know that when we first started coaching together, I really experienced the rebuilding of my self-confidence, which I didn't even realize had been torn down to such a level. And so it was like coaching was a salve that kind of like helped me rebuild that. It was, yeah. And now at this point, people are coming in and I feel like I'm welcoming them in a different way and talking to them in a different way. I feel that I'm more relaxed and I can sit down and actually ask questions instead of like, oh my gosh, we got to get on the table. They're in pain. I got to do this fast. I got to do that. And I actually take time. I take actually a lot more time than I have in the past. And I am like, okay, let's talk about what's going on.
Yeah. Which is such a huge service to your clients, because by the time our clients find us, likely they have, determined that no one else is going to help them, or people don't believe them, or they just haven't found a solution. So then by the time they get to our treatment table, the therapist that can ask really high value questions and really hold space for them to tell their story and to, say, hey, I can help you, even if you have the worst XYZ that your doctor gave you, whatever label. Like, it's life-changing to instill that idea that they can have hope. And it doesn't mean that just because you're giving them hope that you have to race around the table and fix them in one treatment. You're not there to fix them. You're there to work together as a team to get them to the result that they want, to get out of pain. But it just takes all that pressure off of you and off of them and off of MFR to like be this one and done situation.
Yes.
You're not trying to, this isn't a job interview where you're like, you have to prove everything in one treatment. And I think the more MFR therapists can really settle into that being okay. Like it's okay for it to take a year.
Mm-hmm.
Just being like this, it might take a year. And like being willing to say those things to your clients. Like clients appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've explaining that anywhere from 6 months to a year, and inviting them to work with me for that time.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's really
What's that like?
yeah, it's different.
Yeah. But people are opting in, right? And they
Hmm.
might get better sooner. That's
Right.
great.
Yeah,
But let's not get disappointed until it's at least been a year.
right. Because so much can happen. It's just, and we've lived our lives up until this point, and so it's
It's
not
only going to get better. Yeah.
1 hour is a drop in the bucket.
Well, yeah, 1 hour is. I just always remember back to like one of my very favorite patients who was the most difficult thing I had ever treated before. And I was, it seemed like there was a lot on the line. And I just have so much respect for who I was then that I was able to say things like, I can help you. This is going to take a long time, but I know you're going to get better, and have
Hmm.
that client buy into it. And like she was more bought in than I was. She was like, well, I'm going to give it a year, and like once she said that to me, I was like, we have so much. There's like no way you're not going to get results. And even at the 6 month mark, like she was ready to go to maintenance. And when I first met her, I never knew the outcome of like what exactly was possible for her, but it was completely life changing for her and for me. I mean, this was like 10 years ago and I still talk about it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I wonder how old her baby is. Like she had just had a baby then. That baby's
Mm,
probably like 8 or 9 now.
yeah.
That's crazy. Time just marches on. So,
It does.
yeah.
Yes.
So we were kind of talking before we started recording. I was
Mhm.
telling you about the new program that I'm introducing, which is going to be a 12-month program for all MFR therapists to join, get weekly live coaching, have a coaching portal, like all of the courses in there. What are your thoughts about that after you did that? You did group coaching and it was like 12 weeks, and then
Mhm.
you got to make a decision to come back or be out on your own. Like, what do you think about this new program?
I I love the 12-month. Well, because I worked with you for a year. I
Mhm.
I obviously wanted that. I also it's it, I feel like a 12-month program gives you space also to process things
Mhm.
versus having that 12 weeks and then like, oh my gosh, I have to make a decision. Um, do I go back in or do I take a quarter off? This way it's so nice to have a committed year.
Yeah.
So
Like so
nice.
much can be explored during this time and surrounded in support. I'm super excited to be able to offer this now. It's like, yes, this is great. And there was nothing wrong with the 12-week program. It was, and a lot of people made it work, but it's
Mhm.
like, what happens if we take the pressure off of it, like having to be like really rapid fire and I like just like fire hosing you guys. And it's like, we'll just drip it out a little. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I'm excited. And then we made another program for people like you who've been through coaching, who are at a certain threshold income wise. They can join the mastermind, and the
Mm.
mastermind is going to be, even it's going to be awesome too. So it'll be nice to serve two different levels of where people are at with coaching and get everybody to that 6-figure business. That's my goal. And
That's awesome.
yeah,
So great.
excited about it. All right. Do you want to share? Do you have numbers and stuff to share? Do you want to share like where you were your first year in business, your second year, and this is like you're in your third year?
Hmm.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I wrote everything down. I was like, oh gosh. Okay, so
Like Heather's going to ask me these things.
I know numbers are involved here. Um, so the first year before I started working, well, I made it through May 31st. So from January 1st to May 31st of 2021, it
Mhm.
was a beautiful total of $1,876.
Okay, rolling in it. Yes. I mean,
Just amazing.
you'd made sales. That's good.
Now, June 1st to December 31st, after working with you from May on,
Mhm.
it was $38,740.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. And it actually, if I remember correctly, it was really in September that I actually had that starting with those big
Yeah,
numbers.
you had a quite, like, if we're just being full disclosure, you had a big space of like no action, of like no
Mhm,
clients, like no one was finding you. You were, we worked on a lot of personal stuff. We worked on like, so we got so much cleaned up. And then, yes, there was a time in that September where like everything just took off.
yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Which is
So
so
that was so, and that being my first year, I felt I was really excited about that. I was like,
because you replaced your income from working with someone else and then some,
right.
plus you're working a lot less hours.
Mhm. That's, and also that that was a conversation that you and I had. We were I was getting really clear about how many hours I am working,
Mhm.
and like, and I know that I was like playing around, like I'm like, it's just having fun. I'm just adding these hours here. It's just fun. And you're like, really? Like, what are your thoughts
Really
about
fun to
like,
work on Saturdays and Sundays. Is this fun?
what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah.
And so I really stick to my hours. I have 16 hours that I work a week, and I can play within those days, but I usually I see 4 people a day,
Love it.
and that's it. And
Yeah.
I really stick to that because that's what I can do. It's
Well,
what I
and
can
it's what you
do.
want to do, right?
It is, yes.
You can make anything work, but like this
Yeah.
is like you asked yourself, what do I want? And this is the
Mhm.
answer you gave yourself. Brains are like Google. If you ask it a question, it will give you an answer.
It will give you an answer.
Yeah. You just have to
And if
make
you
sure
ask a
you're
bad
asking it.
question,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Okay. So
so
16 hours a week. That's
yeah,
amazing.
4 people a day. So
Mhm.
it's, yes, I love it. Okay, so 2022, I just for the year is 60,950.
Amazing.
So it I was so proud of that. It's
Yeah.
such a good number. I'm
It's
like, oh
so
my gosh.
good.
Mhm.
And how is 2023 shaping up for you?
So I did quarter 1. I hold on. I did the quarters. So
That's fine.
quarter 1 was $17,810.
Mhm.
And then quarter up to date is $12,240, which is $30,050.
Great. So you've done in 5 months this year, what took you, what, like the whole year, your first year,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
you're halfway to what you were for the whole year last year.
Yes.
Like that's incredible.
Hmm.
And you're in life coaching school, right? Like, and you've been assisting at seminars. Like it's like this, and in this, and in that, you know?
Right.
Yeah. What do you think about all this?
Um, it's more than what I could have imagined. Like it's well, let me rephrase that. Unconsciously imagined, but consciously doing the steps through downloads and models, and being conscious about what I'm experiencing is such a difference than just like walking through life in a cloud. It's that's what it is. It's like walking through life in a cloud, or having clear skies.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's very different.
That's fun because I like to also point out, like, yes, it's more money, but also your experience of your life and your business
Hmm.
is totally different. And
Yeah.
it's like there's kind of an intangible value to that. Like you can't even put like a monetary value on being
Mm-mm.
able to perceive your life in a better way and have more fun and just like have more experiences instead of like struggling so much that nothing feels good and everything is a challenge. Not that you like weren't doing your life before. Like that's dramatic.
But it was a different life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in being really have allowing myself to think in a different way, I
Mhm.
have it that gives me a different perspective, and it gives me a different way of viewing life.
Mhm.
So I'm
Exactly.
not, I don't feel like I'm being put upon. I don't feel like I'm being attacked. I don't feel like I'm, you know,
Yeah.
the
Like the
world.
world is not against you.
Right.
Yeah. Things work out for you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Things
mean, I had
always
that
work out.
experience too before coaching. Like everything, like things would go wrong. I'd be like, of course this went wrong. This is just how things work out for me. Like things just don't work out for me and everything is
Hmm.
against me. And that's so dramatic and so exhausting. And I still work on not having thoughts like that because that's so practiced for me. But I am able to like quickly shift into like, but look at all these things that have worked out. And I
Hmm.
think the benefit of that for me personally is like now when my kids think things don't work out for them, like I'm able to show them too, like, but look at all these things that did work out. Like your life is 50-50. Like this could be a no, but this, all this could be a yes. Right.
Right.
And they're like, oh, okay. I wish I would have learned that when I was 12 or 13.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Be
Yeah.
crazy. Was there anything you would say to people who are concerned about joining coaching or think that they, maybe they've been in business a long time, they don't think they need help? Like, what would you say to those people? Or even new people, whatever. The
Oh
people.
gosh. Um, I have more, but this is the first thing that comes into my brain, that it's well worth the investment. Like if I had no idea where I'd be in 2021 in May,
Mhm.
what would come, where I'd be today. I know where I'd be if I hadn't worked with you.
Hmm.
Like I have a pretty good idea where that would have led,
Mhm.
but working with you has led in a different direction. And it's it's just so nice.
Hmm.
It's so nice to have a peaceful mind
Yeah.
and to be able to allow things to unfold and not have to be so anxious about them.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
So,
Thanks for saying that. I love that too. Like, what is the price of having a peaceful mind or just
mhm,
peace in general that everything is going to work out and it's safe for you to open a business like this and help people in this way? That's
yeah,
kind of a big deal.
I know. Like,
But so many people are doing it and making it work, and you don't have to sacrifice being successful or making money in order to help
mhm,
people in this way. So I think it's great. I'm really proud of you. I'm excited for you to also become a coach
thanks.
and to like just to continue to work with you, to be in your world. Like it's fun to know you. So that's
It's
one
so
of
fun to know you. So,
thanks. It's like one of the fun benefits of like what I'm doing is getting to meet so many different MFR therapists and having this connection. You can't help but become colleagues and friends because we have
mhm,
we have so much in common. And it starts with like our fascial bond, I guess. Like,
mhm.
oh my gosh, I'm a nerd. Okay. Where can people find you if they want to schedule with you, they want to look you up and follow you? Where can they find
Oh, yes, thank you. I am on the socials, so I'm on Instagram and Facebook
you? Mhm.
at Fire Rainbow MFR, and I'm also,
What's your web address?
yeah, that. So my web address is firerainbowmfr.com.
Okay.
Very straightforward. And if you want to reach me by email, I'm Sara at firerainbowmfr.com.
Okay, that's
So,
easy enough.
yeah.
We use the example of Sarah's website in my
Oh my
training
gosh.
program, which I haven't looked at yours lately to see if you've ever changed it, but it's just such a perfect example of how like just having a simple website can get you fully booked because people can find you. Why are
Yes.
you laughing?
Oh, because I know that you share my website, and I have honestly tried to go. I have gone in there and I've tweaked it, and I'm still like, if my website can get me booked, you can just have a landing page. Like, it's
Right. Like for the longest, I haven't checked it ever since like I recorded when I was like giving the training, but it literally was like firerainbowmfr.com and then it was
Mhm.
a book now button.
I added some things. So
Okay.
I added some bullet points.
But even before that, like people were finding you and booking.
Yeah.
That's all it took because you became really searchable, like Googleable, searchable, people can
Mhm.
find you. So
Yes.
the whole point of that is not to make it silly to have a website like that, but
No.
literally some people are so overwhelmed by technology that they just won't even get a website. And it's like, but you can make it this simple.
Mhm.
And you are a good example of what's possible when you just did it, right?
Yeah.
Until you were ready to do more.
Yeah. And I think it's recently, so my friend Donna,
Mhm.
we had looked up some things about SEOs.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're still relevant. There's a lot of information out there, but we went in and changed the SEOs. We figured out how to do that, and that also shifted where I land when I'm Googled.
Mhm.
So, I
Yeah.
mean,
It's these
I didn't.
little shifts and it's the things that you can think about doing when you're not caught up in drama in your brain
Mhm.
about all of the bullshit that doesn't matter. That's what
Right.
gives you the space to have the conversations with the colleagues that then leads you to do the thing that helps you to get more discovered, right? It really is
Yeah.
that easy. Yeah. So good.
So,
Cool. So everybody figure out your SEO. Come into
yeah,
my program. Donna did a whole training on SEO for everybody in there. So that's
she's so
available.
good. She's so
She's
good.
so good. She is so good. All right. Well, thanks for your time today and for sharing all of this information with us. Everybody who's been tuning into this podcast Minisode series, thanks for watching. We'll be back with more. I'm not sure how many we're going to do, but these are pretty fun and entertaining. So we'll keep going. I'll see you all on another one soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining me today. My mission is to help every MFR therapist become a part of the movement where no MFR therapists ever under-earn or burn out. Join my 12-month coaching program. You'll spend the first 90 days setting up your foundation to create your six-figure business. Then you'll go to work and uncover exactly what's holding you back from the business that you want and desire. Get support while you raise your rates, set your policies, and learn how to talk about MFR and how to sell MFR in service of your clients. Learn exactly how you can do it too, even if you live in a tiny town and even if you've had your business for years. This program is open to all MFR therapists who want to create what is possible when you stop playing small and start showing up in your full power as the John Barnes trained MFR therapist you are. Put your magic to work in the world and help more people get out of pain and back to active lifestyles. I'll help you do it. Go to www.themfrcoach.com/coaching and sign up right now.